All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming by here. Joseph Miranda, broker and owner of Miranda Executive Realty, here for our first training of the year for our Ask the Broker. I'm actually really excited about this one here. We're going to talk about some things that we'd already covered last year, and then jump into something new, something that everybody really should have already on their radar for 2025 if you've not already done that. So let's go ahead and jump into it here real quick. We're going to do our shameless plug. So if you're watching this online or you're following us, or wherever you see this at, if you want to learn more about this company, learn more about us, or just see some more of the trainings that we've done, you can go ahead and scan that QR code, and that'll take you to whatever you need there. Then just one real quick reminder: we've got a lot to go over, and we do like to begin on time. We like to end on time. So if you have any questions, thoughts, comments, whatever it is, just write them down during the training, and then, we'll do a Q&A session at the end. We're happy to answer any questions. And then just to cover myself, again, I'm the broker, I'm the owner, I'm not an attorney, I'm not an accountant, I'm not an engineer, I'm not, I don't have a job in marketing, I don't have a job in, I'm not a professional coach. Just broker owner and somebody who likes to train, somebody who likes to talk to people and, teach what I know. So that's what I'm here. But please, always get legal advice, always, consult with your accountant, pray to your Lord, whatever you need to do before you make your final decision. This is not, meant to give you any type of legal advice or otherwise, even if it sounds like it is. I am not licensed to do that. So let's jump into it. We've got the format on this training is a little bit different than some of the training that you've seen previously. We're going to start out with a recap, where we're going to go over something very, very important that we spoke about towards the end of last year. Just kind of give you a quick refocus on that item, and then we're going to talk about getting it right on Google. Right, so Google is something that everybody needs to get it right on. Why? Because that's where pretty much everybody goes when they start their journey, looking for homes. Where do people find Zillow at? Probably on Google. Right? Where do they find Realtor.com? Probably on Google. Where do they find your website at? Probably on Google. Right? Everything really starts on Google. So we're going to cover some basics, some things that everybody should have in Google to ensure that this is, well, hopefully a better year than it was last year. So let's jump into the recap. What do we want to talk about on the recap? I want to recap our business plan. We did a training last year going over the business plan, going over filling it out, how to fill it out. And the question is, did you fill out your business plan? Did you even start your business plan? Right? If you didn't do your business plan, that would be a good thing kind of right now. Please stop and look at it. Right? It's there for everybody. If you need it, we'll put a link in here so that you can get one and you can download it. But even if you don't want to go through the process of printing it, filling it out, or filling it out in PDF form or whatever it is, you need to at least have an idea. Right? You need to have a vision. Law of attraction, whether you believe in it or not. Right? What you see in your mind, you can hold in your hand. If you can't imagine or fathom where you want to be in 10 years, then you really don't have any direction on where you're going to go, and any direction will be the right direction. So, this is why our business plans, we always talk about your vision first. What do you want? Where do you want to be 10 years from now? Right? Do you still want to be in the hustle and the grind of, going from, one deal and surviving from one deal to the next? Or do you want to do something else, right? Some people love real estate. Some people do real estate, and it's absolutely all they ever want to do. But for a lot of people, real estate is that thing that leads you into, the thing that you really want to do. Real estate should provide you the freedom to do, to live the life that you really want to live, and that starts by having a vision, right? So please, I implore you, if you have not started your business plan for 2025 yet, if you have not looked through this business plan for 2025, please at least look at it. At least open up the link on your computer, on your phone, on your whatever electronic device you use in your day-to-day, and just look at it, read it, and look at what you should be looking at and think about what you should be thinking about, even if you don't fill it out. I do think that you should fill it out. I filled mine out. And this is something that throughout the year we are going to come back to, because you need to constantly be looking at your business plan, right? This is going to let you know, okay, I'm on course, I'm on track, or whoa, how did I get so far off track? I said I would do this and now I'm doing this, right? Maybe something in your business plan that didn't work, isn't working. That's okay. You can, that's what erasers are for. Your 10-year vision changes 2 years from now, that's okay. This is not the gospel, right? This is your vision, and you are allowed to change that, right? So, just do a recap. Please look back at your vision plan or your mission, your business plan. Very important. Write your mission statement. Write your vision statement. Have an idea of where you want to go, even if you're not sure how you're going to get there. At least write it down and figure out how you're going to get there, right? So, question is, what have you done so far? If you did fill out your business plan and you have written your business plan, what have you done so far? Have you begun implementing it, right? Because the action of this thought, this thought process, right? The action of taking that from your head, putting it on paper is one thing, but now the next thing is now you need to implement it, right? Are you stuck? If you're stuck, reach out, let us know, right? Real quick. So the business plan is a very big document. I don't know how many pages it is. Definitely takes time to get through it. It's going to take at least a few hours if you are filling it out beginning to end, and you may need to take a break in between, come back to it the next day with a fresh mind. It's a lot to think about. The first one especially, right? Then what's even harder is figuring out how to implement it. Well, just like implementing anything, right, you need to have a plan. So this section here is going to help you short-term, long-term, everything. This is the way that myself, my team, our admins in the office, this is how we prioritize our tasks, short-term and long-term. Stuff that we need to do today, stuff that we can put off, but it's really important, but we need to make sure that we don't forget it. So what does it start with? Brain dump. What's a brain dump? Well, it's your to-do list. And you don't have to organize it. You don't have to do anything. Just what do I need to do? Right? What are the things? Doesn't have to be just in your business. It could be in any part of your life. It could be in health aspect. It could be your family. It definitely could be business. Could be a diet, something like that. Spiritually, with religiously, whatever it is, write it down. Right? Health aspect. I got to do my blood work for the year. Okay, blood work. Right? Family. You got to plan the family vacation. Okay, plan the family vacation. Right? For work, I have to call 10 leads every day. Okay, write that down. Just brain dump as much stuff. Again, we're not going for perfection. Get it out of your head. Number one, you're going to sleep better at night. I can tell you for sure, when I get these things out of my head and on a piece of paper, just brain dumped, I sleep better at night because it doesn't roll through my head as I'm laying in bed thinking that I'm going to forget about it. Get it all out of your head. Get everything out of your head. Once you have your list and you've brain dumped, what's the next thing that you're going to do? You're going to prioritize. So we're going to talk about the 4 Ds of the Eisenhower matrix. Now stay with me here. Maybe a lot of you have seen this. We certainly did not, invent the Eisenhower matrix. Maybe Eisenhower did. I don't really know where it came from. And that I've read about this in numerous places. But this will absolutely help you prioritize and know what is important, what needs to be done right now. So the 4 Ds of the Eisenhower matrix: do it, decide, which means put it in your calendar, delegate it or delete it. And the quadrant breaks down just like this, right? Important and urgent. Important, not urgent. Not important, urgent. Not important, not urgent. So what is important and urgent? Right? Those are things that, number one, you're going to do them now. These are things that move to the top of your list. So take everything in your brain dump that's important and urgent, right? Need to schedule an inspection for my buyer. you know, their timeline is up in 4 days, right? We have a 5-day inspection period. Yesterday was day 1. We need to get that scheduled. That's both important and urgent, right? You know, I don't know, got to go get groceries for dinner tonight. We're out of food. That's important and urgent, right? So what on your list is important and urgent, something that you cannot put off, something that needs to be done, right? Meet with my child's teacher, right? These are things that need to be done in the moment. They probably need to be done in a very short amount of time. There's a timeline and it's coming up, so it needs to be done, right? Do it now. Important and not urgent. This is my favorite list, the stuff that you have to put into the calendar, but these are the things that are important, right? But there's not necessarily a timeline on them. But when you do these things, these are the things that are going to move the needle in your business, right? What is important and not urgent, or not just in your business, but in your life? I had mentioned earlier blood work, right? Go in for your annual physical, go get your blood work at the doctor done. That's important, but there's no, if you don't do it tomorrow, the next day, 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 you could probably put that off into forever, right? But, you know, because it's not urgent. But by not doing it, you're not going to know the results in these areas that, you know, maybe you're a little bit unhealthy and you need to work on, right? Your cholesterol might be high. You go for your physical, your blood pressure might be high, right? Important, not urgent. You know what's important and not urgent? Your business plan. Your business plan is important, but it's not urgent. There's no, if you never do it, nobody, unless you tell somebody, you know, hold me accountable, be my accountability person on my business plan, nobody's chasing you down to make you do it. Important and not urgent, right? Calling your database daily, right? That should be important and urgent, but for a lot of people, it's important but not urgent because they have business today. But where's your business tomorrow going to come from, right? Now, not important, but urgent. Next quadrant, right? Bottom left. So something that is not important, that's not something that is, you know, going to change your life necessarily if you don't do it, and urgent. And again, this is your list. You have to prioritize where these things fall on your list, right? To me, you know, not important, urgent. I don't know. There's really not a whole lot of things, but you know, maybe returning a voicemail, right? If I say, you know, like my voicemail, if you've ever gotten my voicemail when my mailbox is not full, it says that I return calls between, you know, 5 and 6 p.m., noon and 1 and 5 and 6, right? So for me, a lot of those voicemails are not important, but because I said I was going to do it, that's going to be urgent for me. I need to make sure that I'm checking my voicemails at that time. A lot of voicemails in there that, you know, may not be important, but I need to listen to them. It might be somebody that I need to call back that's not necessarily urgent, right? Figure out what's not important to you, but something that you need to get done, you know, today, right? Something that needs to do, it's urgent. A lot of things fall into this category, just your day-to-day kind of stuff, you know, doing your laundry, you know, things like that. Like, it's not important, but it's urgent because you're running out of clean underwear, right? And then not urgent, not important, you can probably just delete it. If it's not something that needs to be done right now, and it's not something that needs to be done in the future, then delete it or recategorize it. If you say, you know, one day not important, not urgent, you could write it in there. Maybe someday it does become, you know, urgent or important, right? So that is our recap. This was our hopefully helpful Eisenhower matrix brain dump, you know, brain dump for these of the Eisenhower matrix to help you get things ready. Our goal is to really just help you to do what? To refocus, right? To think about the things, make your list, right? Refocus, make your list. You know, should your business plan be on the list? Should that be something that you do, right? And just make sure that you're doing the things that are going to make 2025 a better year than 2024 was, right? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. All right, so that being said, let's jump into what I think is our first high-level training for 2025. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about getting it right on Google. So everybody's familiar with Google. Everybody knows, you know, what Google is. Everybody goes to Google for so many aspects of their life. You get a headache, and your pinky finger goes numb at the same time. You probably Google that, right? You go to Dr. Google. You need a new doctor in the area. You probably Google, right? This type of doctor that is near me. Or maybe you go to Google and you say, the best doctors in this field of medicine, right? And then Google will take you. It'll show you doctors in that field of medicine, and it'll show you who has the reviews, where they are. It'll also populate other pages like Yelp, maybe Reddit, other pages, right? So everybody goes to Google. Everybody's on Google, but do you have it right? Are you getting business from Google? Well, how do you get business from Google? SEO is a big thing, right? But are you, from Google's point of view, when somebody says real estate agent near me, real estate agent in Fort Lauderdale, real estate agent in Miami, real estate agent wherever your market is, and they Google that, does Google recognize you as a business or not? Would you ever index on Google? What does index mean, right? Index is, the first, 25 results on the page. You go to page 2, page 3, page 4. What page, when somebody puts real estate agent in your area that you work, what page would you fall on? Well, how do you index higher, right? How do you move up on that? That's what we're going to talk about. So the first thing that I'm going to recommend you do, if you have not done this already, start a Google My Business page. If you don't know what Google My Business page is, the first thing that I'm going to tell you to do is Google it. So Google, what is Google My Business, right? But basically what Google My Business is like what used to be, I think it was the Yellow Pages, for those who are old enough to remember that. The nice thing about Google My Business is one of the best 4-letter words in the English language, it's free. Google My Business is free. It doesn't cost you anything to create a Google My Business page. Now, is it easy to create a Google My Business page? Well, I'm glad you asked, right? There's really only 3 steps, but I will tell you, it may not be real easy to do because of their verification process. So number 1, you're going to go in there, you're going to enter your information, you're going to claim your business. This is me. It may already be on there. They may already have your business in there. You just need to claim it. Or you have to create it. You have to build it. You have to put it in there, right? The question is, Google My Business, is your page visible to the world? Just because it's in Google's, database somewhere, you found it, doesn't mean that it's visible. You can have a business that's inside Google My Business and it's not visible at all, right? So make sure you claim or create or claim your profile. Number 2, make sure your information is accurate. So side note on this, you see in the parentheses there, match across all platforms. This means your name as it's written. I'm Joe, Joseph, or Joey, depending on who you ask, right? You go to my family reunion and all my aunts are there, I'm Joey, okay? I have a couple of friends that call me Joey, right? You are around most of my friends, most people that know me, casually, I'm Joe. But professionally, a lot of people call me Joseph, right? When I fill my stuff out, I put Joseph. So everywhere I go for my business, every account that I set up needs to match. I can't be Joe on Google My Business, and I can't be Joey on LinkedIn, and I can't be Joseph on, Yelp, because Google won't recognize me as the same person. I can't put my cell phone on one, my business line on another, and my home line on another. What about your image? What about your picture, your photo? That should match across all platforms. It should be the same one. It should have the same title. You can label your images, right? So this is a little side training inside this training. Again, this training has a lot. But it's really important that across all platforms, everywhere that you've ever created a profile, your image, your name, your phone number, your email, they all match. I know there's companies that do that for you. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know that there are. But make sure that whatever you put into Google My Business matches all of your other business things. Another thing, another quick side, and we already did training on this. If you sell, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an attorney. My opinion, if you sell at least one house per year, you should be a PA, professional associate. Right? Mine, Joseph J. Miranda, PA. I don't have it anymore because I run my businesses differently now, because I'm a broker, all that kind of thing. But I used to have, and that was a corporation. Mine was an S corp, pass through. Right? Speak with your accountant and ask them if they think that you should start a PA. And then that would go across all of your business things. Right? Joseph J. Miranda, PA would be the name of Google My Business. It would be my business page on Facebook. It would be my business page on Instagram. It would be on LinkedIn. It would be on Yelp. Everywhere that I have an account, right, on a different platform, Joseph J. Miranda, PA. Make sure it matches. I wouldn't be Joe Miranda on one, Joseph J. Miranda, PA on another one, Joseph Miranda on another. Google doesn't do that, right? You want SEO? This is one way to get SEO. Just make sure your stuff matches. And when you're all done with that, make sure you verify your profile. Verify it, claim it, accept it. Cool, awesome. Time to move on, right? So what do you do from there? Well, you want to optimize that page. Did you know that you can post on Google? That's where you see the photos. You can post on there, right? So you want quality videos, quality photos. Everything needs to be quality, all right? Just like everything else, social media, this is the stuff that people see when they Google your business after you've set it up in Google My Business. So they're going to Google, John.Smith or John Smith PA. They're going to find johnsmithpa.com, right? And then on the side over here, it's going to show his hours, it's going to show his phone number, name of the business, right? All of that information, right? Make sure you're using your keywords, local real estate agent, specializing in high-end, luxury condos in the, and L'Hermitage, Fort Lauderdale, right? Put that, right? And then is there anything specialty niche that you do? Make sure you have that in there as well, right? So do that. So once you've done this, you got your posts, you've got everything on there, got everything, you're all set up and you're all good. Oh, real quick, one side note, I don't know if we have this in here. If we do, that's great. If we don't, high quality photos and videos, look up geotag. Your photos should have a geotag on it. Every photo, like when you take your Facebook photo, it tells you the location where you took that photo at, or unless you turn off location services. But if your location services are on, if I had the right software, if you send me a photo, I can open your photo and I can tell you exactly the latitude and longitude of where you took that photo at. Google will take these geotags. Let's say, for example, you want to farm a neighborhood or a condo, right? Let's say L'Hermitage, Fort Lauderdale, you want to farm that. So you've set up your Google My Business page, you've begun uploading photos, but they're all over the place, right? They're everywhere. Well, if you want your name, right, local real estate agent that sells homes or sells in L'Hermitage, I don't know if people search for that long, but L'Hermitage real estate agent, right? You want to come up in there, you want to index in there, put a geotag on all of your photos that you put in your post. Put a geotag. There's a link to take you to a company that you can geotag from. But now it's going to look like all of your content, all of your posts, all of your photos are coming from that one specific location. So Google is going to look at that and they're going to say, wow, John Smith, PA has, I don't know, they're posting something every day from this geographic location. Huge. It's huge. Google will definitely, they'll index you higher when somebody's searching that area. All right. So you've done all this. You started posting. You started putting posts on. You got Google My Business, all your info. You verified your hours. Everything's all good. What's the next thing that you're going to do? And you may have already started doing this in your own name. I don't know. You want to start getting reviews. A lot of us have already begun getting reviews in, companies like Zillow. I think Trulia was a thing for a while. I don't hear about Trulia anymore. Maybe Yelp. Yelp drives me crazy because they don't give you all of your reviews. They have a specific way to get reviews. So Yelp absolutely drives me crazy. But Google, anybody can leave you a review. Anybody. So what's the first thing you want to do? Get your list. Brain dump. Brain dump. And this time you don't have to do the 4 Ds of the Eisenhower matrix, but just brain dump your list. Once you've brain dumped your list, call or text, right? Now, your friends, family, vendors, past coworkers, it doesn't matter who it is, right? But why do you want to reach out to them first? Because you want to gauge whether or not this person is actually willing to write you a 5-star review. Just because they're a past client and you thought they had a 5-star experience doesn't mean that they agree. So make sure before you send this out, you gauge what they're going to give you. Hey, so-and-so past client, it's been a while. How you doing? Good, blah, right? Whatever, get to the formalities. Hey, I'm calling to ask you for a favor. Trying to build out my, Google My Business page. I just built this thing, and I'm trying to get as many 5-star reviews as absolutely possible. I know, we worked together a few years ago, but if I were to send you a link, would you be willing to leave me at least a 5-star review and maybe just write some kind words in there for me? Sure, no problem, right? But if they hem and haw, oh, well, and some people just won't do it, right? You got to move on from them, right? But you have to ask specifically for a 5-star review. So a lot of people think that if they're completely honest on things, that they're actually doing you a favor, right? So somebody might think, well, this person, hey, here's a link, write me a review on Google. They might think, well, the person didn't give me 5-star service. I give them 4 stars. And the comments that I leave for them is going to help them grow. It's going to help make them a better agent in the long run. Right? And then you get that and you're like, what the crap, dude? You did get a 5-star. Oh, yeah, but, you weren't a local expert in that area. Like, yeah, but, all of these other reasons why I should have got 5 stars. Too late. Too late. Google's got it. You've already got it. What do you do? Go back, pull it back. I don't know. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. That part I don't know. Right? But don't risk it. Not worth it. Get your freaking 5-star review by saying, would you be willing to leave me 5 stars and write me, some kind words after that? Or however you want to say that. That's how you do it on all reviews. You have to tell them what you want. Make sure they're willing to do it. And they say, yeah, I don't know. Then just don't send it. Don't risk it. 5 stars. Your grandma could write you a review. Your grandma better love you. Right? Your parents, your siblings, right? Your barber, your hairstylist, your auto mechanic. Doesn't matter who it is. Other agents in here, you guys could all, get together and say, hey, we should all write 5-star reviews for each other. That would be awesome. Doesn't matter who it is. I could write you a 5-star review if you just asked. I'd be happy to do it, right? Easy enough. I'm happy to leave 5-star reviews. I left a lot. I'm a local expert, I think is what it's called. I don't know, some kind of whatever, because I do leave Google reviews for my friends. This is very important, right? Why is this important? Why is it important to give reviews? Well, number one, it's going to give you credibility when you go on your listing appointments, right? Yeah, you say, oh, but Joe, I get all my reviews on Zillow. Okay, cool. How does that benefit you if you're not spending money on Zillow? It doesn't, because all of your leads, as you know, they sell to other real estate agents. You don't get your leads. So they find you on Google. If a buyer Googles and you've done your Google My Business page with geo leads and geotags and all that, sooner or later somebody's going to find you on Google. Now there's SEO aspects to it too. Your website. You're going to want to look at some SEO for your website. Maybe that'll help you index way faster, because that's where you're going to drive them, right? You're going to drive them to your website, because when you come over on the left side after the paid ads, there's, you know, the top 10 choices or whatever. You know, SEO is going to help you get bumped up, pushed up there. But we're not here to talk about SEO today because I am not an SEO master. We do a little bit. I know a little bit about SEO, but not enough to really talk about it. But this right here, sooner or later, should get you business, right? Might take you a little bit longer, but it will, right? So how can you get business quickly from Google? After you've built Google My Business, and after you've gone out and gotten yourself some 5-star reviews, hopefully through your PA, hopefully all of your info matches across platforms, now you're going to Google another term. You're going to Google local service ads, LSA. Google local service ads. So you've probably seen these ads. You know, if so, what I'll say is go in to, next time you're on Google and you're in the search bar, you know, the search area of Google, type in, you know, local real estate agent near me. And you're going to see, here it is right here. There it is. All right. So, you know, we took these out of here, but look how many reviews they have. Do you think it's important to have reviews if you're going to do this? You see sponsored real estate agents, Seattle. And took out their, you know, the contact info, because don't call them, call us. Even if it's in Seattle, we can refer you. We can collect a referral fee. We're not above it. But this is what people are going to see when you sign up for local service ads. Now, the great thing about local service ads is it's not pay-per-click. You're not paying for people just to click the ad, but never to reach out to you. Unless they engage you, if they just scroll past this, Google doesn't bill you. You know, and we'll get to that, how it works, but it's not pay up front. Local service ads. You set a budget, right? But this is where you want to be. Why do you want to be here? Because who in the heck goes to Facebook and looks for a real estate agent? Probably nobody. Who goes to Instagram looking for a real estate agent? Maybe nobody, right? Now they'll follow you as a real estate agent if you're on Instagram and you have engaging, you know, content, or you're really entertaining, or, you know, whatever. They'll follow you on there, but that doesn't necessarily lead to business. Someday it might, someday it should. That, you know, social media should definitely be a part of your lead generation plan, right? Go back to your business plan at the beginning of this training. Social media should be a part of that. You know, you're going to post, what type of posts, consistently, whatever, right? But where do people really look for things that they need? Google. Google. They find the professionals on Google. So when they search real estate agent near me, if your geotags and all of your 5-star reviews and you're set up on Google LSA and whatever, you should begin indexing into these certain areas, right? Very important, very, very important. Google My Business, Google LSA will get you higher quality leads. Why? Because people are actually looking for a real estate agent there. When you do a Facebook ad, who's done a Facebook ad, right? Who's boosted a post on Facebook for a listing that they have? Who's gotten Facebook leads? You know, are they good? No. I don't know what my conversion rate on Facebook leads would be, but it's not great. It's a lot of follow-up. It's a lot of, you know, incorrect information. It's a lot of whatever. Why? Because they liked what I was offering. They wanted more information on the house. They just wanted to see it, right? It compelled them to do that. But they weren't legitimately looking for a real estate agent. They just wanted whatever I was offering, right? So what's the process? How do you set up Google LSA? It's a little bit more involved than Google My Business, because they have to make sure, okay, Google My Business is, you know, one thing. They don't check licenses. They don't check all that. It is, the approval process can be a little daunting. Google LSA, you know, they do a little bit more research on you, but it's actually, from my experience, more simple than Google My Business, probably because they already know your business, right? So step number 1, set your business profile, because you have to link some sort of profile or account to Google LSA. Right, step number 2, Google LSA, Google local service ads, whatever you want to Google, find it. fill out the application, right? What type of business are you? You know, what do you sell? Da, 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 da. They're going to ask you for your, now you have to, and here, because Google is recommending you, right? These are Google screened. They screen you, right? Part of the screening process is you have to submit the documentation. Hey, you actually are a real estate agent licensed to sell in the state of Florida. You have to send your license in. I think you did. I haven't done it in a while, but I'm pretty sure. You got to update it. You type in when it expires, whatever. Somebody on the other side looks at that. They do a background check on you, which you should be fine. If you have your real estate license, you should be able to pass the background check, I would think, right? Unless you did something since you've been licensed, should be fine. Set your budget and you go live. Now, the question is, how much do you budget for Google LSA? My answer, this is my answer. It's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your business coach. You don't pay me for this advice. As much as they let you, $1 million a month. Why? Because number one, nobody's going to, no, you're not going to get $1 million a month worth of leads. You're just not. Number two, if you did, right, if you did, probably a lot of really good leads. Number three, you can always adjust that throughout the month. If you start getting too many leads, then just slow it down, lower your budget, right? You can always change your budget. You can always go in there. You can edit, you know, whatever, you know, whatever your setup is on there. You can always edit those things, right? But until you start getting results, until you start getting anything, you haven't even received one lead, and you're going to put, you know, $45 a month. You might not even receive one lead if that's your budget, right? So set the budget for as high as it'll let you. Put the budget all the way up there. Don't worry, you're not going to get billed into oblivion because leads aren't going to come in that fast, especially in the beginning, because you saw how many reviews the agents on there have. 80, 90, 100, 150, right? How do you beat the reviews? By posting, by geotagging, by doing the things that probably those agents that have all the reviews aren't doing, right? By having a better, more well set up Google My Business page, syncing all the information all around, looking way more legitimate. And a little SEO on your website never hurt anybody. There's things that you can do on your website that are really simple that are going to give you some SEO, right? But set your budget wherever you want. My opinion, set it for as much as possible, right? So, you know, a little Venn diagram here, our trifecta of Google, if you may, right? Here it is. Here it is right here, right? So, you know, you're gonna take LSA, right? And it's going to give you in my opinion, from my experience, some of the highest quality leads you will get. Have I closed Google LSA leads? Yes. And now I dropped the ball on Google LSA. We had a lot of things happen, a lot of things changed. I did drop the ball on Google LSA, and now I'm working to build my account back up. But if you put the time and the effort into Google LSA, you will absolutely get results from it. You have to do it right. You have to understand Google and their algorithm and how they work. Geotagging is a very important part of it. Reviews are a very important part of it. Oh yeah, responding to those reviews is a very important, because they want to see engagement. Google wants people that are active, right? Because why? Because their reputation depends on it. And they've, you know, Google has been doing this for a long time. I don't know how long, over 20 years, I think. You know, so they've definitely figured this out. They know who's active, they know who's not active, and they're constantly changing their algorithm. They're constantly changing it around, but a lot of things will always be true. They're going to want to see activity. So just make sure that, you know, that you do that. But Google LSA, that should definitely be set up, right? So what are some strategies to help you with these things? We did hit on some of these. You know, number one, I talked about, you know, the photos, the images, right? Your content, the stuff that you're putting, you should be posting. When you have your Google My Business page, you should be posting. And every image that you put in there should have a geotag on it. Don't miss that. The geotag and think about what areas do I want to work in. My opinion, work in your backyard. You don't have to work your neighborhood if you don't want to, but you should at least work in your backyard somewhere that, if I live in Fort Lauderdale, I may not want to, be farming an area all the way down in Miami or all the way up in, West Palm Beach. It's just a long drive for every lead that I get. Maybe you're in Poinsettia Heights and you decide, well, I want to farm Victoria Park, right? Go up a tier from where you live if you want, right? We have a training on farming and how to find your farm area and do all that. But maybe your geotag should be inside that area that even if you don't actively farm, that you would want to farm. Or maybe an area that for some reason you just get a lot of sales in this area. Geotags are very important, right? And then again, same thing. Make sure all of your information is consistent literally everywhere. That's just going to help you in like basic ranking in Google. That's like SEO 101. If you've got 4 different email addresses out there, Google doesn't know that you're the same person. If you have, John.Smith at Gmail, John.Smith at Yahoo, John.Smith at MyMX Realty, if you got all those out there, Google is going to have trouble recognizing that, hey, this is the same John Smith, right? Because there's not little people, on the other side of Google, piecing it together and doing the detective work. It's an algorithm. So the algorithm's going to, crawl the data and it's going to say, okay, these 4 profiles are the same people or not, or these 4 profiles are different people. Now you lose Google SEO, right? Now, set your budget, right? My opinion in the beginning, set it as high as possible until you start getting leads. Once you start getting leads, then maybe you need to set your budget otherwise. But if you're getting a return on your investment, wouldn't you spend more money? Going back all the way to the beginning of the business plan, if you've got one lead source that, let's say for every $1,000 you spend on this lead source, you get $10,000 in return. Would you spend less money on that or would you spend more? So that means every 2,000 you get 20,000. 3,000 you get 30,000. You wouldn't say I've spent $1,000 and I only made 10,000 off of this. I should cut this out of my budget. That's a 10 times return on your investment. If I spend 1,000 and I get 3,000, I'm going to be happy, right? So think about that when you're spending on any marketing. How much, when you get to that first closing and then looking at your pipeline into the future, because, you're going to have a pipeline. How much did you spend? How much will you spend? How much did you make? How much will you make? Is that return on my investment worth continuing to invest? Is that return on my investment, does that justify spending more money? Or does that return on investment, maybe I should think about not doing this lead source anymore? They're going to fall into that category. But if you're getting it, in my opinion, 3x return plus justifies spending more money. So in your annual budget for Google LSA, whatever it is, again, my opinion, the way I do it, max it out in the beginning till you start getting. See how much, when you get, your pipeline starts filling and you start getting closings, conversions, how much did you spend? Does it even make sense to adjust that down? Maybe not. Maybe it makes sense to adjust it up, right? What's your lead source and how much are you, how much are you spending there, right? So the other thing, right? So when leads come in, what do you need to do? You got to monitor them, right? You have to see what's going on. Try different areas. Maybe the area that you're in is oversaturated. There's certain neighborhoods or certain cities, certain parts of, Florida, certainly Southeast Florida. I mean, there's a lot of real estate agents here. So you want to find an area where you can actually, get into that market on Google and Google LSA. And you can find it, right? And like I just said, track your lead quality and then evaluate your campaign. Are you getting a reasonable return on investment? How do you know? Well, if you can budget it, any new marketing strategy that we implement, we should commit to doing it for a year. If it's super expensive and it seems super good and seems like going to be amazing, maybe 6 months, right? But usually the things that sound too good to be true usually aren't too good to be true. There's a lot of people out there selling, selling the dream, selling the easy lead, the triple the triple scrubbed lead, like all of these things, right? And it's really expensive, and you're spending a lot of money, and you're like, what? Where did my money go? Believe me, I've ended up upside down in a lot of things. A lot of things. People have seen me investing in things, and I ride it out at least 6 months, ideally 12 months. I'll ride it out because you never know. Right? You never know what's going to happen. But if you get to the point where you're like, I just got to convert one lead in this thing, otherwise it's at a total loss. Just got to convert one lead, otherwise it's at a total loss. But know when to cut your losses, but don't cut them too soon. Don't quit when you're 3 feet from gold. And if you do quit, continue to follow up on those leads. Maybe one will sooner or later will convert, and maybe 2, and maybe 3. And you think, oh wow, these just have a longer conversion cycle. Maybe I should think about going back into it. Reevaluate. Constantly reevaluate. That's the power of your business plan. You can see what you did. You can see what you want to do. You can see the results of what you've done. You can see the results of what you want to do. The things that you're now doing that you used to want to do. That's the power of your business plan. That's what makes it good, right? So if nothing else, do all 3. 2 of them are free. If you don't have a Google My Business page, set it up. It's free. It takes a little bit of time, but it's worth the time. Believe me, you are now a legitimate business. Now, if you don't have a PA, maybe you should talk to your accountant and maybe think about setting up your PA and opening up Google My Business in your PA name. Just think about it. Right? Think about it. Because I don't know how Google handles it when you change your name. Might be simple, might be not. I don't know. But your business should be a business, right? And a PA is a business. So get your reviews. I'd be happy to leave you your first review if you don't have any Google reviews. I'm sure other people in this call would be happy as well. Share it in WhatsApp. We can write reviews for each other. Right? Whatever it is, send it, put it in WhatsApp. I'll do it right away. Well, maybe not right away. I'll do it someday, but I'll get to it. Don't worry. But once you get enough reviews, they may have some minimum reviews that you need to have for Google LSA. It costs you nothing to sign up for it. It costs you nothing up front. There's no referral fee. They charge you per lead. And people are going to Google to find leads. Right? So that being said, if we're kind of bringing this thing in for a landing here, Google should absolutely be a part of your 2025 business plan. I feel like I should have done this training months ago, years ago, maybe, because it is that important. Because you don't hear people say that they're going to Yahoo something. Let me AOL it. Right? I'm going to Google it. Google is a verb. Google it. Google it. It's a verb. It's an action. Verb's an action, right? Pretty sure. I think so. I don't know. But, add this to your business plan. Do this. Google, PA. Google My Business. Get some reviews. Send them out to everybody. Make sure they're going to leave you a 5-star review before you do. If nothing else, when you go on a listing appointment, you can say, hey, here's a list of my reviews. And you're not beholden to, these other companies. Google's not like Zillow. Google's not like Yelp. Google is itself. And they created Willow now. If you don't know what Willow is, it is like crazy freaky what Willow is. Just go to Google and Google Willow, and you'll see what it is. And it's a quantum chip, and they claim that it works in the 4th dimension or something, or in another dimension somehow. I don't understand it because I'm not that techie, but it is like some really wild stuff. So as quantum computing meets with AI, this stuff is going to become more and more relevant. The one thing I think about our jobs is I don't think we're getting replaced by AI anytime soon, because we have physical, must be there type of jobs. So, you know, keep doing it. But as things change, as things, you know, as things evolve, and you know, we need to be on the forefront of it. And I'm going to be honest, if you don't have a Google My Business page already, you're already behind. If you don't have reviews on Google, you are probably way behind. If you don't have Google LSA, you're somewhat behind. But it's never too late. Colonel Sanders didn't open up his first Kentucky Fried Chicken until he was like old. I don't know how old, 60, late 60s or something. I don't know. There's still time. Plenty of time, right? You could be the Colonel Sanders of real estate. You could be the Colonel Sanders of professional associates, right? But the sooner you get going on these things, the sooner you can start making progress on it, the sooner you can forget about it and later on come back to it and finish it up. It's a lot to do. Don't forget your brain dump. Do a brain dump. Google, you know, setting up this Google stuff, to me, would be not urgent, but important. And what does not urgent but important mean? It means it's going to move the scale in your business. The not urgent but important are the things that when you do them, these are the things that you actually get results from. So these are the things that you want to put in the calendar. You want to make time to do it. Set up Google. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you, everybody. I think this is a really, really important training. I think this is something that everybody needs to implement, especially the agents in this company, because I think it's going to give you an edge. Before we wrap this up, does anybody have any thoughts or questions about this?
So as far as the Google page, how expensive is that?
Which one? Google My Business?
Yeah.
Well, Google My Business is free.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't cost anything. The reviews link to your Google My Business page. And then Google LSA, they will actually give you a range based on when you set up your account in Google LSA. They're going to give you a range on how much your cost per lead will be. And it's going to depend, I think, on how competitive that market is. But from my experience, they're, I don't know, $30 to $40, usually somewhere in that range per lead. So if you were to set, you know, a $300 budget, you'd probably get, you know, 8 to 10 leads per month. But these are quality leads, and I think they're absolutely worth it.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I have a question.
Yep.
Joe, when you say post on your Google page, what did you mean by that? Like posting pictures? Because I have my Google page, and I sometimes here and there I upload pictures. Is that what you meant?
Yes. Yes, exactly
Okay.
that. Yeah. So when you go into Google My Business, there's an area. I think you scroll down, maybe halfway down or so. It says post. Go there, put your pictures, put your videos. And then, you know, make sure that, you know, they're geotagged, because that's how you're going to consolidate your business. Like let's say, yeah, you have your closing and you put the photos and you've got them up in West Palm Beach, down in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, you know, Delray. They're kind of scattered all over the place. Then you're not going to, they're not really consolidating. The geotags don't show up to the naked eye. Right, they're embedded in the photos, you know, so Google sees them. But like if I go into your Google page and I start scrolling, looking at your pictures, I don't see that the closing that, let's say you had in West Palm Beach, that you put a geotag on there for, you know, I don't know, whatever your area is. Let's say Fort Lauderdale, right? Let's say Victoria, Fort Lauderdale. So, but if you geotag that, Google is going to think that all of these closings happened in Victoria Park, Fort Lauderdale. So now when people search, right, real estate agents that, you know, top real estate agents in Victoria Park, well, the geotags almost act like SEO for indexing on your business profile.
And how do I do that? The geotags. Is it something that when I upload the picture, it gives me the option to do the geotags?
You have to you have to insert your own unless you actually took the picture in that geographic area. You have to create your own. So this right here, um, the website that we put in the comments here, the Geo Imager, GeoImgr,
Mm-hmm.
allows you to change or add a geotag. So you'll upload your photo, and I think there's a cost to this. I think I don't recall, or you get so many for free, but you upload it into here, and then you write. You see where it says new geotags.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna put that in there. So drop your pin where you want it to be, right? Put your new geotag in there, description, fill that out, and then
Okay.
download. And once it's done, you're gonna download that image and put the same geotag or very similar geotag. And if you put enough in there, over time, showing, where you want that geotag to be, Google is gonna say, wow, Luceli's in this geographic area a lot, and she has a lot of activity in this geographic area. When somebody's searching for a real estate agent in this geographic area, we should definitely index Luceli, right? Because
Mm.
based on their algorithm, now believes that you're an active agent in that area.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Thank
hard.
you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's hard to sustain this over time, and that's why it's important because it's important and not urgent. But to me, if you're gonna farm an area, if you ever, and I think everybody should have a farm. Everybody should have a geographic farm because that helps to stabilize your business. Where you don't go through those cycles. It's just consistent business, whatever it ends up being. Every year I get 5 deals out of this farm. Every year I get 20. Right? And then you can always expand your farm. You start with 100 houses, then you expand and you go larger, 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 right? But if you're farming, Google My Business should absolutely be a part of that farming plan, right? And the geotags need to go in your photos because right now, if Google's got you all over the map in the Tri-County area with all these photos, then you don't specialize anywhere. But if those geotags are all condensed into one area, then when somebody's searching, right, in your farm, Victoria Park, if they all say Victoria Park, then Google's going to, sooner or later, they're going to classify you as an agent that is very active in Victoria Park. So now when somebody searches for a real estate agent in Victoria Park, you're going to get that lead. And, it's that saying, right, like what you focus on expands. And the smaller your focus, the more, the more you're going to get. So, if you were to have just a farm of 100 houses, you're going to get results a lot faster than if you get, a farm of, like 1,000 houses, because you can give these 100 houses a lot more attention, right? By dividing by 10, you can now the same energy, well, maybe not the same energy, but you're giving these 100 houses, you have more time to manage 100 houses. If door knocking was a part of your plan, it's a lot easier and a lot faster to go door knock 100 doors than it is to do 1,000, right? So, but this will make you a local expert, right? So LSA, right? Local service ads. Local is the word. Local. That's why, when you set up your LSA, you want to have some geotag stuff already in your business for the same areas because it's local. Google wants people that are local. Google wants people that are active in that area. So happy to do more, happy to add on to this. But does anybody else have any questions before we cut out here? All right, awesome.
I don't think so. This is all great. Thank you.
Absolutely, Lisa. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Feel free, reach out to us anytime you need. Don't stay stuck. You all know where to find the lobby room. Once I leave here, I'll be in there for a little bit. So, and if you're setting these up and you're not sure what to do, hop in with us because we've done it all. So definitely, pop in with us, and we're happy to, offer you some guidance and help you figure out, what you need to do next. So, thank you, everybody, and look forward to seeing you all again soon. Happy New Year.
Thank